Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Vadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shruti Smriti Puranam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Ishvaro Gururatmedi Murtibheda Vibhagini Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurte. Om Namo Brahmadibhyah Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyah Vamsharshibhyah Mahadvyah Namo Gurubhyah. This dialogue between Sri Jagnavalkya and his wife Maitreyi. Maitreyi asks for that by which she can become immortal, meaning she can become free from death. And as we said, free from death also means free from ignorance, free from sorrow, because all these things go together. Where ignorance is there, then there is a identification of the body, then there is mortality, then there is sorrow. So this is called moksha, where there is freedom from sorrow, freedom from death, freedom from mortality. And Sri Jagnavalkya has been unfolding before her the nature of the self. There are two states that are being explained here. One is the state of ignorance, other is the state of knowledge. Ignorance is something with which we are born, and what this ignorance does, as we said, it has two aspects. One is because of ignorance, there is avaram, we do not know what is the true nature of ourselves. We happen to be Brahman, we happen to be limitless, we happen to be boundless consciousness, we happen to be that. But ignorance veils that nature from me, meaning I do not know that I am boundless consciousness, I am Brahman, I am limitless, I am happiness. I don't know. Not only I do not know that, but then I take myself to be contrary to what I am, meaning that I take myself to be limited, unhappy, sorrowful, mortal, ignorant. So this is called ignorance in Vedanta, which has two aspects. One is avaram, not knowing the true nature of oneself. Other is vikshepa, taking oneself to be contrary to what one is. And nobody will suspect that the conclusions that I have about myself are totally wrong. There is no way to suspect. Everybody has that. The whole world lives with these conclusions. And therefore, I'm always seeking something that is to be accomplished. I'm always seeking to accomplish something. The reality is that what I am seeking to accomplish is already accomplished. Inasmuch as I want to be happy, I want to be free, And happiness, freedom are already my nature. He is like the tenth man. He's searching for the tenth man, whereas he already is tenth man. Or like this bala in my neck, it's already here, and sometimes I may have misplaced it. I think I'm looking for it all over. It's not unusual that we are seeking to accomplish something which is already there. So this is one such thing, that I am seeking to be happy, I am seeking to be free, I am seeking to be free from all limitation, seeking to be successful, where all of this is already my nature. That means there is something called ignorance in our life, which creates these wrong conclusions about our own self and throws us off the path, meaning that we are taken for a ride by this ignorance and we are searching for something which is not available because it's already myself. This ignorance causes an identification with this body mind sense complex. What this is really a costume given to me to interact with the world, or carry out my activities. That is the purpose of this costume. And it's very well designed costume with which I can perform many functions. Unfortunately, the costume is taken to be myself, the body is taken to be myself, the mind is taken to be myself, sense organs are taken to be myself. And therefore, limitations of the body become my limitations. Limitations of the mind become my limitations. And therefore, I constantly feel a sense of limitedness. This is called Khilya Bhava in this Upanishad, like a lump. That ocean feels like a lump, as though from the vast ocean a little water is taken out, and that because of the contact of heat and soil, it becomes like a lump. The lump feels itself separate from the ocean, even though the true nature of the lump is nothing but salt water. And therefore, there is no real distance between the lump and the ocean as far as the nature is concerned. We are not talking about the physical distance. Lump also is nothing but salt. Ocean also is nothing but salt. And therefore, they are one. And still, the lump feels separate from the ocean, separate from other lumps, and therefore suffers from a sense of limitedness. So, the lump is a very beautiful example to explain ourselves. Each one of us is like a lump of consciousness, whereas consciousness is limitless. By word consciousness means it doesn't have any form. It eliminates everything. It eliminates all names, it eliminates all the forms, it eliminates all the attributes, and therefore itself is free from name and form and attributes. The light that eliminates things is always free from the attributes of what is eliminated. The light eliminates this color orange, so light is free from orangeness. Light eliminates this form, so light is free from the formless. The eliminator is always different from what is eliminated. The consciousness eliminates everything, and therefore it is ever free from the limitations of everything. So this is my nature. I am consciousness, which is anantam, aparam, prajnana gana, as they said. Anantam, it is free from limitations. Aparam is boundless. Vijnana gana, prajnana gana, nothing but mass of consciousness. Feels like a khilya, feels like a little lump. I feel I am a little lump of consciousness. You are another lump of consciousness. Lump, each one of them is like a lump of consciousness. We each feel separate from consciousness itself and feel separate from one another. If this was okay, if this not did not create any problem in our life, it would have been fine. Unfortunately, this creates a problem. Upanishad says, Brahmatam Paradat, you anyatra atmana Brahma Veda. This person called a Brahmana rejects him who looks upon a Brahmana as different from himself, meaning that whenever I look upon anybody as different from myself, I become rejected by that. Rejection may not be in terms that we generally mean, we may not be aware that we are rejecting others. But when you look upon me as separate from you, you are excluding me, so my response is to exclude you. You have your own boundaries and you make it known to me that this far and no further. Everybody has boundaries and we do not want others to encroach that boundaries. So I have bound myself in the boundaries, you bound, that is how in our life each one excludes the other. If you understand what I'm saying, then we feel separateness from each other. And then when you are separate, you don't know exactly who you are dealing with. There are a lot of uncertainty, a lot of anxieties, and a lot of stresses in the life because of this ignorance. So Upanishad says that this looking upon something as different from you is ignorance. Because in reality, what you are is what I am. What you are also is salt, and what I am also is salt. What you are also is ocean. I'm also ocean. What you are is consciousness. I'm also consciousness. This is a simple central message that is being given by this Upanishad. And in the process of dialogue, sometimes Sage Yajnavalkya uses expressions. Yajnavalkya says to Maitreyi, Na pretya sanyasti he Maitreyi. Pretya, after departing, there is no sanya, there is no consciousness. If you translate this statement, Na pretya sanyasti, after departing, there is no consciousness. Pretya means dying, in fact. Pretya means departing from his body. Sanya means consciousness. After departing from his body, there is no consciousness. Now, departing from the body is in two ways. One is I physically depart from this body, or what's the other way? Becoming free from the identification of the body. Both are called departing from the body. So Sri Yajnavalkya says, Na pretya sanyasti, after departing from this body, there is no sanya, there is no consciousness. What he meant is that after becoming free from identification of the body, there is no more sanya, no more notions about myself that I am Maitreyi. Maitreyi is the nature of this body. I think I am Maitreyi only when I take this body to be myself. When I recognize that I am not the body, I am the witness of the body, then I no more judge myself based on this upadhi that is called Maitreyi or whatever it is called. That's called pretya, departing from this body. Meaning becoming free from the identification of the body by knowing your true nature. There is no consciousness. What was meant by it, there are no complexes. There are no more notions about yourself. In state of ignorance, there are many complexes, many notions about myself that I am a doer, I am an enjoyer, I am an experiencer, I am successful, I am failure, I am great, I am small. All the various conclusions, notions I'm entertaining about myself, all of them coming from identification with this body, mind, sense complex. See, Yajnavalkya says, Pritya, when you become free from that identification, no more these notions remain, no more would you feel that I am such and such individual. Because individuality belongs to the body. And when I am not identified with the body, then there is no more sense of individuality. An actor thinks that he is a beggar as long as he is wearing the costume of a beggar. When he gives up the costume, then there is no more any notion that I am so and so. So this is a simple teaching that is provided here. And na pretya sanyasti. Pretya, after departing from this body, there is no sanya, there is no consciousness. What is meant is that there are no more notions or complexes about oneself. The what causes the unhappiness, sorrow in us are these different conclusions that we have about ourselves. That I am a man or I am a woman, I am tall or I am short, I am fair or I am dark, I am great or I am small, I am wealthy or I am poor. Whatever notion I have or conclusion, each one of them is the cause of sorrow. No, Swamiji, I am happy is not cause of sorrow. I am great is not the cause of sorrow, it is potential cause of sorrow. Because until I see someone greater than me, until then that remains, and once I see that even greatness also is the same problem. Meaning that every notion I have about myself is always accompanied by a sense of limitedness. Understand? Even when I say I'm great, still I'm limited. In every conclusion about me, there's never freedom from a sense of limitedness. Whether I'm wealthy, whether I'm poor, I'm powerful, I'm powerless, I'm well known, I'm unknown. Regardless of that, the sense of limitedness never leaves me. Because each of these conclusions is derived from the identification with this body. And it is this limitedness that is what I have a problem with myself. Each one of us has an expectation from ourselves. You know what is that expectation? And that is that I must be limitless. We are born with this expectation from ourselves that I must be perfect, I must be limitless, I must be boundless. This is what I expect myself to be. And every time I look at myself, what do I find? I'm limited. Even though I'm wealthy, still limited. Even though I'm famous, still limited. Even though I'm powerful, I'm still limited. So whereas I expect or want myself to be limitless, I always find myself limited. And therefore, there is that self-dissatisfaction. I'm not happy with myself, this was said earlier. And therefore, this poor human is always unhappy, miserable. There's nobody who is more miserable than the human being. Because nobody has this problem with these complexes. Other creatures, fortunately, don't have the notion that I am so and so. They don't compare with each other, and then when, lion feels that I'm greater than tiger and tiger feels that I'm smaller than this, no such complexes. We always tell stories about lions and tigers and say tigers, but they don't think that I am bigger and smaller than this. There are no complexes. So they are free. In Sanskrit, they are called vimukta. All the animals are called always free because they are free from all the complexes, all the notions about the self. And therefore, there is no sorrow. Who? A dog or a cat or even a mouse? or anybody has no sorrow because they have no complexes. They don't feel I'm a mouse and therefore I'm small and insignificant and that's an elephant that's big. They don't. When the mouse looks at elephant, doesn't feel small. Elephant look. We in our stories we say that because we make the elephant think the way we would think. We think that this fox is a very clever and cunning animal. Poor thing, it is what it is. But for telling stories, we impose those things upon them. And so this fox has become very, very, always blame everybody. Therefore, a person is compared to fox, etc. I mean, all our complexes we are superimposing upon them. Understand that other than human being, nobody has any problem, any sorrow, any samsara. Thank you, Swamiji. The next time I'll be born as a dog. Hopefully, you will not think that way because it's taken millions of years for us to evolve from a dog to where we are. And this is the price of evolution that you have to pay. What is meant by evolution is that we are more self conscious than other creatures. They don't have the kind of self consciousness that we have. Human being is a self conscious creature. They are also conscious. A dog knows that it's a dog. And know that the cat, he may not know that that's a cat, but know that it's not like me, it's not my kind. And the dog, he knows it's my kind, so they behave differently. With a dog, it will behave differently. With a cat, it will behave because it knows my kind, other kind. That's about all the consciousness they have on themselves. But not that little thing that I am so precious, look at this. My my master is holding in my hand and displaying. So they have this dog show, and then all these dogs are displayed, and one of them wins the competition. And then this dog is taken around by who? By the owner. Everybody's wondering, the dog doesn't know what is going on here. Everybody is impressed by the dog, and the dog doesn't know. Even a horse race, also, a horse loses that race, it doesn't know it has lost. It doesn't miss a meal or something. I betted on the horse, and when the horse lost, I lost. And I could not eat that evening because I was so much stupidity that I chose the wrong horse. Horse had no problem. This is kilya bhava. The sense of lumpness, the sense of smallness, sense of limitedness, sense of separateness. Whereas what is in reality is one non-separate consciousness. Prajnana ghana. How do you say, Swamiji, we are all different? How can you say we are one? That's what the various waves in the ocean also say. Each wave says that I am different from others. But are they? We know. The human beings are wise people. We know that one wave is not essentially different from the other. Even though each one has its own name and form, but as far as nature is concerned, they're all one. We are quite wise when it comes to waves and all the ornaments and pots and pans and things like that. When it comes to ourselves, where that wisdom goes away, I don't know. Pots and pans, I know. Small pot, big pot, each one of is nothing but clay. Big ornament, small one, nothing but gold. I'm very wise. But this one is Kilyabhava, this one is, a lump, a limited one. I think that I'm limited. Not that I'm a lump of consciousness. Essential nature is consciousness. I do not know. So in one way, we are very wise when it comes to other things. When it comes to ourselves, we seem to forget all that lesson. So this lumpness, smallness, limitedness is the basic problem of human being. which creates a sense of separateness. And being human being, I have been given a mind with which I compare myself. That's unfortunate thing. So that is why, as Puja Swami would say, that one cow has no problem. A cow with crooked horns doesn't feel inferior to a cow which has shapely horns. A cow that gives only 1 liter of milk doesn't feel any inferior to a cow that gives 5 liter milk. In India, cows are worshipped. And when nobody drinks cow, everybody drinks buffalo milk here. Because the buffalo gives 5 liter milk, cow gives 1 liter milk. And that too is, its specific gravity is so, low. And still, when it comes to worshipping, nobody worships buffalo. But thank God that buffalo doesn't feel, look at this. This cow doesn't give any milk and people are worshipping that, and I'm not. That is good. They are blissfully ignorant. If we were in their place, we would just die of all jealousies, and complexes. This kilya bhava, this sense of limitedness, separateness, smallness that we, each one of us feels, is explained by this word kilya, like a lump. Just as lump separates from the ocean and thinks it is different from ocean, so also we are like a lump. And it is explained, how that happens. These various 5 elements are there from which this lump is made, but then I identify and there I become lump of. It is one thing to say this is a lump of matter, another thing to say this is a lump of consciousness. And so Yajnavalkya said that Maitreyi, Prajnana Gana, what you are is understand this lumpness, smallness, limitedness is false. And look at yourself, what is the unchanging nature of yourself? Even though the lump is small in size, in nature it is salt. And the lump also is small in size, but salt in nature. Ocean is vast as far as dimension is concerned, but in nature, salt. Therefore, as far as nature is concerned, the lump is no different from ocean as far as saltness is concerned. So, how should a lump of salt judge itself? The poor lump of salt keeps on judging itself by its dimension instead of judging itself by its essential nature. And thus, every ornament also would, thank God that this does not have a human mind. Otherwise, there'll be problem. This bangle would be definitely jealous of the chain. Bangle would say, look at my, owner, this lady wears me here on the wrist, and she is washing clothes, and she is a, maid servant, washing clothes and cleaning vessels, and all the time this poor thing, it keeps on banging and banging. And then it comes in hot water, cold water, salt water. So it thinks, look at this chain, how lucky it is. No problem at all, no elements that don't affect her. Chain thinks that look at this, I'm always covered. Look at the bangle, how happy it is. And therefore, this when this woman, turns her hands, and the sunshine falls in different ways and it glitters. This poor thing is gold but doesn't glitter. Thank God they don't have human mind. Therefore, they don't have these complexes. But otherwise, if we were there, this is called samsara, which only human being has because it has human mind, not just the mind. Other creatures also have mind, but not human mind. Human mind always compares, has notions, has complexes, has conclusions. This is the price we pay for being evolved creatures. Swami, why should Bhagavan do this? Why has He made us miserable? Why is so much pain in our life? Is this pain a gift of Bhagavan or a curse of Bhagavan? Pain can be called curse in one way, it's a gift in another way, because only when there is pain that we recognize there is some problem. So at night, all this dosa and sambar and everything, is feast at night also. I know nothing suits me really, my stomach. But looking at that thing, I just can't resist my temptation. And so at night, I have dosa, then I have sambar. And I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning with vomiting, not recognizing why this happened. So this is how I am, this mind being what it is, all the kind of temptations, all these kind of problems. So in a way, the human mind is a great gift. In another way, it is a great curse. Being evolved is a great gift. Being evolved in the sense of a greater self-consciousness is also the cause of all the problems. So is pain good or not? Pain is not good. At 4 o'clock in the morning after eating dosa and sambar in the evening, then when I wake up with all my vomiting, is it good or not? Had it not been there, what would have happened to my stomach? It would have been destroyed. When I'm walking and suppose I'm not inadvertently strike with a stone or something, there is pain. I don't like it, but thank God it is there. Had I not felt the pain, there would have been my fracture and I would not even know. Pain is a gift, understand? If the pain is not felt, then we would know that there is a problem and we would not solve it. So human being a lot of pain. A human being alone has this pain. What we call sorrow or sadness is a typical problem of human being. But because that is the reason why we are trying to solve that problem. Except that Puja Swami would say that there are some problems, there's solution in outside the problem. Like hunger, the problem, solution is in food outside. Headache is a problem, solution is in some tablets outside. But sorrow is a problem, is a solution outside. Sadness is a problem. So Swami, you would say, he would ask, hey, you look sad this morning. What's the matter? Swami, I have not received letters since last 3 months from my parents. You look sad. What's the matter? Swami, I received a letter this morning. Why do you look sad, Swamiji? I don't get married. Why you said I am married? Why you said I have no children? Why you said because I have children? So you have concluded that the cause of sadness lies outside of us. There are some problem of which the cause lies within the problem. Like there is some shape and so many pieces are there and you have to assemble them to come to that shape. The solution is within that problem. Similarly also, the human sadness, sorrow, kilya bhava, sense of smallness, separateness, all of this has the solution within ourselves. In life, we always look outside for our sorrow. We blame others. Natural. My neighbor and my boss and my spouse and my son and my this, that and all. I'm not saying that we try to blame ourselves, but then the problem of sorrow, the reason for sorrow is within myself. And that's what a human problem is, and this is the solution. The solution is what Vedanta provides. That kilya bhava, the sense of lumpiness, sense of smallness creates in me that sorrow. Because I want to see myself limitless. Imperfection causes sorrow because I want to see myself perfect. I never thought, Swami, that I want to see myself perfect. But we do. Understand what is it or who is it with which we are unhappy? It is our own self. If I'm happy with myself, I'll be happy with everybody else. I'm unhappy with myself, I complain from the morning with everything. What kind of tea is this and what kind of buttermilk is this? What kind of I complain about everything when I'm not feeling good about myself. So that's why Yajnavalkya says this kilya bhava is absolutely a notion. What you are is really nothing but the ocean. It's notion, your ocean. And hey Maitreyi, pretya na sanyasti, once you depart, there will be no sanya, no consciousness. Which was meant is that once you become free from the identification, there is no more Maitreyi. There will be, but not so. That I am so and so, that kind of a notion will no more be there once I become free from the identification. I am so and so is because I am identified with the body. The body is so and so. That I am somebody's son, I am somebody's father, I am somebody's whatever. Hey Maitri, all these sanyas, all the notions will go away when you depart from this body. So Maitri said, what do you mean I will have no consciousness? Yeah. Although Yajnavalkya used these words perhaps deliberately, and maybe Maitri also asked question a little innocently, I guess for us to know. So Sahovas Maitreyi Atre Ma Bhagavan Amumuhat. Hey Bhagavan, this is on the page 28, passage 13. This is where your Venerable Sir has completely confused me. You say that once I depart, there will be no consciousness. You mean I have no consciousness? Once I gain knowledge, I have no consciousness? Once you depart from ignorance, once you know the self, there will be no consciousness. What's the point of that knowledge? That I become unconscious? There is no consciousness in terms of these notions about yourself, which arise from the identification of the body. Na pretya sannyasi. Pretya is meaning that departing the body or becoming free from identification of the body. No sanya. There will be no complexes at all that I am so and so, I'm the daughter of so and so, I'm the mother of so and so. So Maitreyi asked like an innocent woman, Sahovac Maitreyi Yatrema Bhagavan Amumuhat. Just here you have thrown me into confusion, sir. Bhagavan means Venerable Sir. Here you thrown me into confusion. Napretya Sanyastiti. By saying that after attaining oneness, the self is no more consciousness. After attaining oneness means when the lump recognizes that I am just salt, then attains oneness with the ocean. Lump may be separate as far as the name and form is concerned, but lump is not separate from ocean as far as the essential nature is concerned. So also, Maitreyi, once you recognize your essential nature, then there is no separateness at all, no separate anything because every lump is nothing but consciousness. There is no separateness. And therefore, you won't have any kind of notions arising from separateness. Means Now, that doesn't mean that Maitreyi will stop saying I am Maitreyi. But she will know that this is a notion when I am identified as the body. Inside now, she becomes free from all these notions. So says, you confuse me by saying that I'll have no consciousness. So Hovacha, Navareham Moham Bravimi. Yajnavalkya said, no, I'm not saying anything that is confusing. Alam Vareyam Vijnanaya. What I have said is quite adequate for the knowledge. Meaning that Maitreya said, whatever needs to be said as far as self knowledge is concerned, I'm not saying anything. But there is the language of confusion seems to be there, or rather, Maitreyi wants to bring out the lack of confusion in apparently confusing appearing in apparently confusing sentences, that there is no real, because sometimes you have to use that language to convey something that is subtle where the regular words or sentences are not adequate. So that's the kind of language Yajnavalkya uses, because what he wants to convey is something very subtle where the regular words would not be adequate. Na pretya sanyasti. After dying, there's no consciousness. After knowledge, there's no consciousness. So this is where the conversation has ended. Then the last passage is what we have to go through. But Yajnavalkya insists that alam va aredam vijnanaya, what I have said is quite enough, adequate for knowledge. But you're confusing me. How can it be adequate? So think about it. If you take my words literally, you may get confused, but if you understand what is intended by the meaning, what you call lakshyartha in Vedanta, because sometimes vachyartha, the word meaning is not adequate to convey. And they understand what is meant by pretya is that you become free from the identification of the body, then there is no consciousness, there is no sense of individuality left. It is identifying the body that creates in you a sense of individuality like a lump, and you all these notions about yourself, which is which is not something desirable to have, because those notions make you feel a limitedness, sense of limitedness. But still, Maitreyi, maybe she did not get confused, but she appeared as a confused person and say to Yajnavalkya, sir, here is where you are confusing me. Yeah, no, what I have said is quite enough for knowledge. Think about it. So Yajnavalkya said, alam vare idam vijnanaya. What I have said is quite adequate for knowledge. Never think about. No, this is the language that sometimes teachers use. In Chandogya Upanishad also, these two kings. One is king of gods, Indra, other is king of demons, Virochana. They heard that gaining knowledge of self, one gains all the worlds and all desires are fulfilled. That sounded very attractive. Desires are all fulfilled, then we want that knowledge. So this fellow lives, I guess, in Patalahu, Virochana, king of demons. He lives in heaven. They independently heard. And separately, without informing each other, they actually they became, they came together. Until then they were enemies, but maybe in presence of Prajapati, they came and performed penance for 32 years. Until then, Prajapati did not even call them. And by that, they had that some purification of mind. So therefore, they became quite friendly with each other. So then both of them go to Prajapati. So why have you come here? Can you imagine? 32 years they've been here. Serving the teacher, living life of brahmacharya, living life of tapas. And after 32 years, this great person says, "Why are you here?" Sir, we have heard your statement that when who gains the knowledge of self attains all the worlds, all desires are fulfilled, he attains all the worlds, and therefore we have come for that knowledge, self knowledge. So then Prajapati says, the being seen in the right eye is the self. Yesha Akshini Purusha. The person that you see in the eye is the self. Now, therefore, they looked at each other, in the eye. And what do you see? Your reflection. So then Indra concluded that the teacher says that I am reflection. Virochan was a little better. He said that what I see in the eyes is my own body. So this body is the self. So Virochana came to conclusion that I am the body. That's what teacher has said. Indra came to conclusion that I am the chaya or the shadow. Reflection. Both were happy, walked away. So here Prajapati said, these fellows are going with wrong knowledge. And this ignorance will sometimes, make them, invite defeat for them. But Virochana merrily went away and to his people and said that the Venerable Sir, the Creator, has said that his body is the self, and therefore we worship the body, we feed it, when we decorate it, because body is Atma. So today also the demons, when somebody dies and they put all kinds of, they decorate the body with all kinds of clothes and ornaments and put all kinds of food and so forth. That we see in the Egyptian mummies, that description seems to fit very well. Indra also walked away, but he started thinking, doesn't sound right. Knowing this self that's in the eyes, I don't become immortal. Etat amrutam, etat abhayam, etat brahma. I don't become immortal. I don't become limitless. I don't become Brahman. This is not right. Something is wrong. Comes back. So Prajapati says, well, perform penance for 32 more years. These teachers are treacherous, looks like, not like our teachers. Okay, beta, don't worry. Penance for 32 years. Then goes and says, well, this person that is in the dream is the Atma. So that fellow thought one who is in the dream is Atma, but in the dream, hey, you are sometimes crying and weeping, and sometimes you're attacked, and sometimes you even die also. This cannot be Atma. So comes back. 32 more years. Comes back and says, hey, the person who is in the deep sleep is Atma. Good. He goes back. Hey, what's it? This cannot be Atma. In deep sleep, I do not know myself. I do not know anything. There is, how can this be Atma? Comes back. 5 more years. That makes it how many? 32 plus 32 plus 32 plus 5. Indra performed penance for 101 years to get this knowledge. Here it is just teachers are so anxious to give us this knowledge. Here they invite us and they give all kinds of comforts and no penance. There Indra had to go through all of these 101 years of penance. Anyway, so similarly, but then the way it is told, each time the teacher told him the nature of Atma, but in such a way that he understood it differently. He took it literally. And finally, then he was mature enough to understand what the teacher was saying, that not the waker, not the dreamer, not the deep sleeper, the one that is the common substratum is the Atma. So ultimately, he understood that. So, what I'm saying is that how the maturity of the mind is required. And in order for Indra to get that maturity, Prajapati allowed him to perform this penance. That is why the language is of that nature where sometimes you understand the what in Vedanta calls the targeted meaning of the Lakshyartha. So here Maitri also is confused, and your revered sir has completely confused me here. Yajnavalkya says, no, I'm not confused you. What I've said is what it is. Alam varedam vijnanaya, what I've said is enough for the knowledge. Fortunately, he continues his lecture in the next passage. We'll see it tomorrow. And where it's the last passage and a beautiful passage where the nature of the self is unfolded very nicely. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashyakrutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. हरिः ओम्. श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः. हरिः ओम्. Any announcements? No.